Alright, so the biggest award show of the year, at least for gaming, the Game Awards, happening on December 12th, has just announced their nominees. If you got the nominees for Game of the Year, I'll be tuning into all of it. As a gamer myself, I got to see what's going on. But the one we care about over here is the best mobile game of the year. Typically because there's gacha games on there, and most mobile games give out rewards to their players if they win. But looking at our nominees, we have AFK Journey, Balatro, Pokemon TCG Pocket, Wuthering Waves, and Zenless Zone Zero. Now, I don't think AFK Journey is going to do any good. It's not going to win at all. This is just here solely because it was a big game and it had a big Asia release, maybe. It's just a pay-to-win, swipe all of the money you have to get to the top of the leaderboards type of game. It's cool, the art style is fun, but I don't think it's not gonna win Mobile Game of the Year. Balatro, though, on the other hand, I think is the dark horse of this category. It's also in Game of the Year category, I think, for Steam. It's basically like, it's just a card game roguelike, and people love their card games, and it's actually pretty cool. It's very unique, and it has been taking the internet by storm over the time that it did release. Then we have Pokemon TCG Pocket. This game has also been blowing up if you haven't seen it online. And I think it also has a very high chance of winning this year. I think the big three we're looking at mainly here is Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero, and Pokemon TCG Pocket. Now, starting off with Pokemon TCG Pocket, there's a high chance this is going to get a lot of votes because they're going to cater in the players by saying, oh, we're going to give you a set amount of these packs or a set amount of these packs. I don't play the game. I've seen a little bit on it, but I know people love opening their packs. And as someone that is a Magic the Gathering player, not a Pokemon player, I love opening packs both in real life and in MTG Arena. So giving people the opportunity to gain packs or some sort of limited currency to get packs or any kind of currency for winning is probably going to be a huge advantage to this game. But moving on from that, we have Wuthering Waves. Everyone knows it. The game that had a historically bad launch on mobile, and I do think that might hinder it just a little bit. But where it does have another advantage is that it's on the rise. It ended up fixing those issues, patching out a lot of those issues. The game did get better on mobile. They fully added controller support. There's a decent amount of customization for controls as well. And the game looks really good on mobile. Unreal Engine, it's a beautiful looking game. And it's continued to get better, as you could see by the Google Play Store reviews. Almost everywhere across the world, it has gone up to at least 4.7. It's all above high 4-star. It's up there. The ratings are very good, and I do think it has a solid chance to win this year. Now, talking about rewards that you might get if Wuthering Waves wins, I don't think they're giving out another free 5-star. They just gave one out. But I also don't think they're going to follow the Honkai Star Rail route, because Honkai Star Rail did that because they swept all the other reward categories. They gave out, a 10 roll, some Fuel Trailblaze Power, and then they gave out Dr. Ratio after for just sweeping all of the reward categories. Now, I don't think Wuthering Waves is going to do that to the same extent. I think there's a chance they do like a 5-star selector box maybe, or, your standard character selector, because they've been so generous in those aspects. I think they'd kind of get clowned on if they didn't do something to that extent. But realistically, the rewards you're looking at is probably like a 10 roll and some crystal supplement, kind of like what Honkai Star Rail did right away. And maybe they release a character after if they continue to sweep more rewards. I don't know. It's hard to say. But they're pretty generous, so there's a good chance they might try to cater the vote with how people have been seeing how generous they are. I think Wuthering Waves is a good choice. I'm kind of biased because it's one of my main games that I play. But I don't know. It's hard to say just because of the hindrance and the bad start that they had. I don't know if it'll be enough now. There even is some issues still for players struggling to play on mobile, but I do think it's a very beautiful mobile game, and it's definitely the best looking game on this category. Now finally, the Gooner game themselves, Zenless Zone Zero. I don't know if the Gooners will have enough power to take this game to the top and give it best mobile game of the year. There's a lot of them, but I don't think they have enough power to beat the Kuro Shills in Wuthering Waves. All jokes aside, their character designs or peak. I think that's like the main reason why you should play Zenless Zone Zero is for the characters in the first place. Everything else in the game is kind of trash, I can't lie. The new tower mode is pretty cool. It's a cool concept where you can go infinite tower, keep climbing, keep climbing. You know, I think it's got the best art style and character design of all the Hoyoverse games. I don't really like the music. The story is pretty average. It's still below like Honkai Star Rail levels. I'd say Zenless Zone Zero is the least popular out of the big three there, with Genshin, you know, HSR, and then there's Zenless Zone Zero. It's the least popular out of all those games. And I do think while there is, because it's a Hoyoverse game, it has an automatic boost, I think there's a chance that it does win because of that. I don't know if it's doing enough to beat something like Pokemon TCG Card Pocket or Wuthering Waves in this category. It's just hard to say. I mean, it did also have a tough start on mobile when it first came out. There was optimization issues. People struggled to play it. Even now, people still have the same issues. Wuthering Waves and Zenless Zone Zero are kind of like two peas in a pod with the same situation. They're higher level, higher demanding mobile games, different art styles, pretty visually appealing, but they've all had their own individual issues with coming out this year. I mean, the TV system was a big issue with Zenless Zone Zero at the start, but nobody really cares about the active gameplay. A lot of people care about the rewards that they're going to get if their game wins, and I think for most people, they're going to just vote for whatever game promises the best rewards, or if they say anything. I don't know if these games will say anything, or what rewards they'll give out if they win. Some games do, some games don't. I think Zenless Zone Zero is actually less generous than a lot of these other games. I don't think it's going to do what Honkai Star Rail did. It might give out like a 10 roll and some stamina at best to spend. I don't see them giving out any 5 stars. They haven't been that kind of a generous game so far in its lifespan. But overall, this is the next PvP aspect added to these games over the next couple of weeks until we get to December. I mean, we've got the gacha revenue chart at the end of November. Wuthering Waves, Zenless Zone Zero fans, Hoyo, Kuro, the fans are they're just gonna crash. They're gonna fight. The internet's gonna be terrible for the next couple of weeks as we continue to have gacha PvP. But it is a very exciting category. Balatro, dark horse of this category, could win. AFK Journey might surprise me and come out of nowhere, but I do think Pokemon TCG Pocket has a very good chance to beat out these two giants as well. But I'd be really sad if Wuthering Waves didn't win, just because of how visually appealing and how impressive it is for a mobile game, even though it has had its issues. But we will have to see on December 12th when everything is officially announced, and maybe the players will get some pretty good rewards once it's over.